The annual MOT test strikes fear into the hearts of motorists, but there's nothing to be scared of. With a few simple checks, you can minimise your chances of failure and get it sorted before you get to the testing station. We've pulled together 6 simple checks you can do at home to maximise your chances of passing first time. One of the most common reasons to fail the MOT are tyres, with 1 in 10 cars tested failing for this reason. The main one is tyres that are simply worn out. That means that they've not got enough tread across the full width of the tyre to pass the test. You're looking for 1.6mm of tread across the middle 3/4 of the tyre to indicate that it still has useful life left in it. The other reason for failure is damage. A bulge or a tear in the wall of the tyre will be an absolute failure straight off the bat. So if you get the opportunity to look at that ahead of time, you can shop round for the best deal on a replacement. 9% of MOT failures are due to blown or not working bulbs. It makes sense to get a friend to walk around your car while you're inside activating all the lights to see what's working and what's not. It's usually quite a simple fix to replace a blown bulb, but if you get a garage to do it, you'll be charged a premium for their workshop time. One of the silliest reasons to fail an MOT is due to an obstruction in the driver's line of vision. Something like a sat-nav or something hanging from the mirror is no reason to fail a test, but if the tester's in a bad mood, it can happen. The biggest culprits are ineffective wipers. That can be as simple as wipers that are worn and not sweeping the screen as effectively as they should, or even windscreen washers that aren't doing their job. Check the washers and see if the wipers clear the water effectively. If they are, you're in with a good chance of passing the test. But do also check for chips and cracks. If they're right in front of the driver, they're an almost certain fail. If they're towards the outer edges of the windscreen, you may get away with it, but you're going to have to take a chance. Checking fluids before an MOT test is a great idea. The most obvious one, windscreen washer fluid. So if there's no water in the washers, they can't be demonstrated to work. Straight test fail. You can top it up with tap water for the purposes of getting it through the test, but some windscreen washer fluid is the best idea. If the tester has reason to believe your car has insufficient oil or fuel in it to conduct the test safely, he can refuse you. That's a very silly reason to be turned away from the testing station. Another very common reason for MOT failure are number plates. On cars that are 3 years old taking their first test, a whopping 7,000 of them failed at their first MOT due to problems with the licence plates. Main one is deterioration. If they've been knocked, if they're in an exposed position and are cracked or damaged, that's a straight fail. If you've got some sort of personalised plate with the spacing slightly irregular, that's another fail. But the easiest one to sort out and fix, if the plate's intact, is just to make sure it's clean enough. If it's dirty, the tester can refuse it and they have got no obligation to clean the car off. So give it a wipe before you go to make sure it's as clean as possible. Now, your car doesn't need to be box fresh for it to pass the MOT, but you should make a bit of an effort in making sure it's clean enough to test. A scarcely believable 23,500 cars were turned away from their first MOTs in 2013 due to the car being too dirty. Outside, that means lighting and number plates being obscured by dirt, but inside it can just be too cluttered for them to get a good look at the seatbelt mountings and checking that the seats are secure. If you've got a car that needs a bit of cleaning before you take it to the test, best give it a once over rather than run the risk of being sent away with your tail between your legs. So there you have it, some simple advice for making sure your car gets through the MOT first time. If you do have a fail after checking these things, it's probably for an issue that needs proper investigation by a professional. You can't argue about that. That's the reason the MOT test is there, to keep you and your family safe when you're on the road. For more advice and research on MOTs and testing, go to whatcar.com/MOT.